Reality Transurfing, Book 3, Forward to the Past by Vadim Zeland. Chapter 5, Letters from the Past, How to Get Back the People You Love. I beg you, please tell me how to get back the man I love. If he left on his own, there's probably no way you can get him back, Vadim responds. Rather, you won't be able to get him back with the efforts of internal intention. That is, by taking some kind of action aimed at his return. Among such actions are any attempts to directly influence this person. Even if you do manage, he will no longer be the same. You can only get back the man you love by external intention. By internal intention, you are trying to directly influence the world while achieving your goals. External intention works in a way so that the world itself will go out to meet you halfway. Briefly, I can explain the mechanism behind the function of external intention in the following way. Partners in their relationships are guided by internal intention. That is, they want to get something from each other. If one of the partners does not get what he wants, he ends the relationship. Everyone is trying to get satisfaction from being in a relationship in their own way. It could be a need to be loved, sexual needs, respect, acknowledging virtues, mutual understanding, communication, running away from solitude, entertainment, and so on. Is there anything in common uniting such different personal aspirations? This common denominator has always been and is defending and acknowledging one's personal significance. Regardless of what a person is guided by in his actions, any of his motives are in one way or another connected to the sense of personal significance. That is how man works. When it comes to people, internal intention is always aimed at defending and acknowledging personal significance in one form or another. What is the internal intention of your loved one aimed at? Is it aimed at looking for a partner who will provide him with a satisfaction of personal significance? And what is your internal intention aimed at? To get back the man you love and thus firstly restore your significance, and secondly resume a relationship where you got some kind of satisfaction. Now think about it. Would you be able to satisfy the aspirations of your partner if you were to be guided by your internal intention? To get your loved one back, you need to give him what his internal intention is aimed at. You shouldn't condemn him if what he wants from you is to satisfy his personal significance in one way or another. After all, you too want to get something from him. As you know, the principle of Frailing reads, reject the intention to get, replace it with the intention to give, and you will get what you rejected. Reject your internal intention, no matter what it is aimed at. Find out what the intention of your partner is aimed at. Direct your aspiration at satisfying his intention. As soon as your actions have been reoriented into satisfying the needs of your partner, your internal intention will turn into external intention. As a result, not only will you manage to make your partner happy, but you will also get all the things you want from him, and that in abundance. If you manage to abandon the intention to get, having replaced it with the intention to give, you will most definitely get what you rejected. Let me repeat that. If you manage to abandon the intention to get, having replaced it with the intention to give, you will most definitely get what you rejected. This principle works so well that you get a feeling there is some kind of magic power at work. But this is real magic, and you won't even need any spells or love potions. But actually, to get back what is lost is like entering the same river twice. Very difficult. It is better trying to observe the principles of frailing even before the relationship starts to fail. In any case, if I was in your place, before taking any initiative, I would have thought about it twice. Do you really want to get this man back, or is there an irresistible burning desire to restore your lost, abandoned by him, significance? If you feel that you are being neglected, that is very painful, I know. But even if I knew everything about your situation, I wouldn't have been able to recommend anything specific. It is only in my powers to provide you with the tool, but what you do with it is up to you. Do not forget that the layer of your world is your mirror. If you prefer to suffer, then that is how things will turn out for you. Let me repeat that. If you prefer to suffer, then that is how things will turn out for you. If, however, in this moment you will make use of the principle of coordination of intention and start considering the circumstances as exclusively favorable, then that is exactly how it will be. Let me repeat that. If, however, in this moment you will make use of the principle of coordination of intention and start considering the circumstances as exclusively favorable, then that is exactly how it will be. Perhaps the breakup with your loved one saves you a lot of unknown problems, while it seems to you that everything is bad. Tell yourself that everything is just the way it should be. Let me repeat that. Tell yourself that everything is just the way it should be. After all, you are the one to decide whether you should be happy or miserable. Let me repeat that. After all, you are the one to decide whether you should be happy or miserable. If I were in your place, I'd be happy. I'd be jumping and clapping my hands. Allow the mirror to give you pleasure. Another letter. I have the same problem. The woman I love, my wife, is leaving me. We were dating 3 years and have been married 4 years. The main reason to break up is financial instability on my part. In many respects, I am too kind a person, timid, excessively careful. My wife thinks that with my experience and knowledge, I should start my own business. With my gentle personality, it is difficult to climb to the top. Make your way in the business world, and then again, career, it is not a creator's sort of thing. In many respects, I agree with my wife. In most respects, I am being too thorough, looking for more information, trying to gain additional experience. Basically, my entire career is built in such a way that I do not stay more than 1 to 2 years at one place, which gives me experience and business knowledge. One really good thing about my personality is responsiveness. It is also a bad thing which stops me from making a career. My wife needs stability, reliability, and children. My inner motives are also aimed at that, but not in the sense of career, but by creating a system, business scheme, which will bring profit. To do that, you would need both experience and knowledge, which to me have always been a top priority. 3 months ago, my wife and I got divorced. Rather smoothly. My wife is now renting a separate apartment. She can afford that on her salary. She is searching for herself, but our relationship is getting colder and colder. She doesn't want to see me anymore. How do I get my loved one back? Vadim's response. I cannot give you a specific recipe on how to solve your problems. I only do that if the situation is completely clear. But even in that case, my opinion remains subjective, and thus it could be wrong. If I do not know the answer, I turn to my intuition. If my intuition doesn't tell me anything, I can recommend using one of the principles of transurfing, because I know that it won't do any harm. In this case, my intuitive answer coincides with the principle according to which you should steadily follow the voice of your heart. Others say the success is about having a career, stability, high salary. These things cannot be part of a goal. Is a person's path really to move up the career ladder? Career, stability, a high salary are in reality not goals, but attributes associated with it. Your goal is what will make your life a celebration. By replacing your goal with an attribute, you won't achieve anything. Attributes come on their own as a result of achieving your goal. For example, having become a great specialist, you get all the benefits. So you need to strive towards your goal and not towards the benefits it will bring you. This fact seems pretty obvious. Everyone understands that, but the paradox is this fact flashes by in the human consciousness and is then clouded by the splendor of attributes. People rush towards attributes as moths to a lamp, but they still do not achieve anything. And how could they ever achieve success if they are not going for the goal, but for its attributes? Hence the myth that prosperity is the destiny of a few chosen ones. Public opinion imposes its stereotypes on you, but this opinion is based on visible end results. Success comes in the process of moving towards the goal. Let me repeat that. Success comes in the process of moving towards the goal. End results are always in full view, while the process of moving towards the goal remains in the shadows. As a result, a stereotype is created. Strive for a career and money. In other words, fly to the lamp. Everyone sees only the shine of already risen stars, but only a few people notice the path these stars have made in order to reach the top. All stars have gone through a dense, thick forest of failures. Luck shines sooner or later upon those who are convinced that they are going down their path. You just need to move steadily toward your goal and keep in mind that, no matter what happens, the flow of variations is going in the right direction. No one can know when and in what way the goal will be achieved. If you will follow the commonly accepted stereotypes, then you could achieve certain success, but this success will be mediocre, and it will be very difficult to attain. To achieve truly grandiose success, you need to identify your goal and move towards it unfalteringly, not listening to anybody. Let me repeat that. To achieve truly grandiose success, you need to identify your goal and move towards it unfalteringly, not listening to anybody. You could take into account the advice of others, but you should make the final decision with your heart. This is the only way for you to stop beating like a moth against the lamp. A right decision is born in the unity of the soul and mind. Let me repeat that. A right decision is born in the unity of the soul and mind. The only criterion of a wrong decision is the emotional discomfort of your soul. If you have made a decision and at the same time experience even the slightest heavy feeling similar to the feeling of forced necessity, then your soul is telling you no. If, however, you do not experience any emotional discomfort of your soul in the context of the decision, then your soul is saying yes, or I don't know. In that case, your mind will have the final say. If the decision is right, the soul is singing, while the mind is rubbing his hands with satisfaction. Let me repeat that. If the decision is right, the soul is singing, while the mind is rubbing his hands with satisfaction. On the other hand, if you can't determine what your goal is, stop torturing yourself with this matter. Is it really impossible to live without a goal? If you just want to live without aspiring for anything, then why not? In that case, there is only one advice. You should not be floating, but moving with the flow. In other words, you must observe the principle of coordination and then your life will enter a calm and comfortable channel. Well, and your goal will most probably make its presence known once you stop the frantic attempts of looking for it. When it comes to the matter of how to get your wife back, I can't give you any advice. From the key phrase, "She is searching for herself, but our relationship is getting colder and colder. She doesn't want to see me anymore," one could gather that financial stability has little to do with this. If she doesn't love you, it is impossible to get her back. Let me repeat that. If she doesn't love you, it is impossible to get her back. Intention. Another letter. I have the following question. Does the law of transurfing apply to other people? For example, could a mother cure her children who are mentally ill? Or if you or me would have the intention for Russia to become a rich country and its people to live happily? Vadim's response. Intention is capable of anything. The question is, how great is its power? If you have the intention of Christ, then of course you can heal. But the power of intention is not the power of desire. Even if you want something very much, you will probably not get it. It is not even faith, because where there is faith, there will always be a place for doubt. Intention is a dispassionate, unreserved, unconditional determination to get your will manifested in reality, and the calm realization that this is exactly how things will turn out. Intention that is free of desire, fear, doubt, and other importance potentials is pure. For example, the intention to get your mail from the mailbox is pure. If the readiness to heal your children will be as pure, you will do it. Just don't be thinking that you can achieve that by applying effort. A paralyzed person, no matter how much effort he puts into it, won't move. And at the same time, he will easily get his mobility back if he accidentally remembers exactly how he did it exactly. To teach how to master intention is nothing I or anyone else can do, but there are methods in transurfing, allowing you to make intention work regardless of your will. It is the so-called external intention. In this particular case, if treatment doesn't work, you must reject any attempts to cure your children. What is a mental disorder? It is when the soul of a person is tuned into an unrealized area in the space of variations. Normal people are tuned into our realized world, while mentally ill people are not ill at all. Instead, they are just soaring in an unfulfilled and hence, in our opinion, abnormal area. Accept your children just the way they are. They are not ill. They are just different, not like everybody else. It is great when a person is not like everyone else. That's what's normal. What is not normal is the present state of affairs when everyone is thinking and acting the same way. Attempting to make your children normal, you won't make it happen. As I have already mentioned, you cannot master intention by force. By trying hard, making efforts, and being annoyed, you are creating great excess potentials, which only make the whole matter worse. But if you manage to accept your children the way they are and to admit to them being normal, then you will get intention by an alternate route. Give your children attention, care, and as far as it is possible, freedom. Deliver your children from the necessity to be quote-unquote normal, and yourself from necessity to make them normal. And then, not right away, but after some time, you will see results. Meanwhile, it is up to you to decide to accept my advice or not. As you understand, I gave you an answer, not being a specialist in psychiatry. Do I have any right at all to give advice of this kind? Your soul will provide you with the answers to any questions that concern you personally. Put more trust in the voice of your heart than the opinion of other people, including me. Let me repeat that. Your soul will provide you with answers to any questions that concern you personally. Put more trust in the voice of your heart than the opinion of other people, including me. My only advantage is that I am indifferent to your children. In this sense, I do not have any excess potential associated with them, and thus my intention to give advice is pure. But actually, I don't understand why you care about the fate of Russia. If your children are ill, isn't it too great of a scale? I don't like these ideas about making everyone happy. Each person is only shaping the layer of his world. Hence, one person won't be able to make the whole of Russia happy. This can only be done by all people together. But people united by a common idea, in the end, create a pendulum, and it will sooner or later commence its destructive activity, leading adherents away from the path and imposing on them a battle with its rivals. You know very well what came of these ideas of making people happy. Any such idea, including the purest one, based on love to God, creates a pendulum. By the name of God and in the name of happiness on earth, whole nations were wiped out. A pendulum is incapable of making all people happy. In any case, many will suffer because of it and will be miserable. Happiness cannot be universal. This concept is entirely individual. If the entire society will mobilize to construct universal happiness, the same devastation occurs, which according to Bulgakov, is in heads, not in closets. Pendulums benefit from passing off caring others as the kindness of the soul. They can skillfully form very convincing stereotypes. But all of this is only beautiful demagoguery. All people will be happy only if everyone will go towards his or her goal through his or her door. In that sense, transurfing is a pendulum for individualists, but it is the only real way to genuine and not ephemeral happiness. You need to turn away from pendulums. Let your soul out of the box of stereotypes and start doing something about your happiness. On the way to your goal, you will do plenty of truly good, helpful deeds, and of course, you will help many poor people and unfortunate ones because you will have more means to do so. Final letter. You say that when a person is on the wave of success, he is happy and fortunate in everything. The point is not to yield to the influence of destructive pendulums. But what about the fact that usually a person cannot do great in everything? Either there is a career, growth, and being successful at work, or comfort, peace, and love at home, while in most cases you want things to be great both at home and at work. Vadim's response. You are the one saying that everything cannot be great. It is a personal choice. Because you think that, then that is how it will be for you. The world is always realizing your choice for you. You write, while in most cases you want things to be great both at home and at work. Even here, the world is realizing your choice. It flawlessly reflects the fact that you want everything to be great, but not more than that. After all, you do want it, so you get yourself wanting. When you stop simply wanting and will intend to have, then you will get it. Notice the Transurfing motto. I do not want, and I do not hope. I intend. Let me repeat that. Notice the Transurfing motto. I do not want, and I do not hope. I intend. End segment.